Hi, I'm Dave from Boyinaband. You like genetics? You like science? Cool, this is for you. The other day I spat in like a test tube and sent it off, and I've recently got my results back. Today we're going to look at what we can find out from my DNA. So we're on the site 23andMe, that's the service I use. I think the wife of Larry Page, who is one of the co-founders of Google, is the person who made this company. Yeah, formerly married to Google co-founder Sergey Brin. My mistake. Oh, it's actually the sister of Susan Wojcicki, who is the CEO of YouTube. Huh. And let's take a look. Traits. That one seems interesting. Alcohol flush reaction. Couldn't they have got a picture of like a drink rather than some yeast? It's like if you went on the Wikipedia page for computers and they just had some silicon just in a pile. Apparently, I've got 2 working copies of ALD2, which results in little or no flushing reaction to alcohol. I could get away with being an alcoholic for ages before anyone noticed. Bitter taste perception. Can taste bitterness. Kind of want to test this. Have I got any like lemon juice or something? Be right back. I'll see if I've got any lemons. Couldn't find lemon juice, but I've got lime. Is lime juice bitter? Yep. Yeah, that's accurate. Oh. Excuse me. Blonde hair, 28% chance. I used to be blonde as a child when I used to live in the United Arab Emirates. I have a memory of, I went to the swimming baths, and as I walked in, these Arabic women came over and started patting my head because they hadn't seen a blonde kid before, I assume. It's not something that you'd normally get in the Western world. People, oh, look at that child. They look different. Let's touch them. Earwax type. Wet. Yep. Eye colour, likely blue. Very likely. Male pattern baldness, decreased odds. Freaking yes. Don't ever leave me. Muscle performance, likely sprinter? What does that mean? Many world-class sprinters and some endurance athletes have this genotype. I've missed my calling. What the hell? Hang on. Every one of these possible genotypes would result in someone being either a world-class sprinter, or a world-class endurance athlete. Here I am getting my hopes up that I could be the next Usain Bolt. Red hair? Less than 1% chance? What does it know? If a smoker, likely to smoke more. How genetic is addiction then? Not all smokers are created equal. Some light up just a few times a day, while others go through multiple packs. There are many social... Oh right! One study of Dutch twins found that genetic factors are responsible for 86% of the variability in number of cigarettes smoked. So when people say people should just use their willpower to stop smoking, their willpower is determined by their genetics. They can't control that. However, environmental factors seem to play a larger part in determining whether someone will start in the first place. That's interesting. And I'm a G. Oh, we already knew that. Likely to smoke 1 more cigarette per day. I have never smoked in my life. Let's start! I was always one of those kids that thought it made me better than everyone because I didn't smoke. So that's probably why I never did. Yeah. Oh, the other one's a lighter. Sorry, Mom. Caffeine consumption. Some people get jumpy after drinking a single cup of coffee, while others can consume multiple cups without feeling a thing. Subjects who drank consumed a slightly higher amount of coffee per day. That's interesting. Like, I'll have it occasionally, but whenever I take coffee, like it's a drug. Oh man, I gotta get some of that coffee. Like, I don't really notice any difference when I have coffee. Like, I'll prove it to you. I don't think we've got any coffee left. I was just going to make some ridiculously strong coffee just to test it out, but it doesn't look like we've got any. You know what? Let's go get some. Bold and intense strength.
Insert cash or touch pay with card.
Never seen that before. Always put the trolley back. God. It just doesn't seem to bother me. Oh, oh, where the hell do I have that bitter gene? That was horrible. 6 teaspoons of the strongest coffee I could get. So if the rest of this video is more entertaining, you know why. Okay, where were we? Coriander aversion. Is this like what people find tastes good? Huh. So there is a gene which makes coriander taste like soap. That's freaking strange. Finger length ratio. The length of the index finger divided by the length of the ring finger. So that would be 1 to 1. Height. Well, I'm just over 6 foot. Huh. Subjects averaged shorter than typical height. So if I had a different gene, I'd be like a giant. I'd be like Dan Howell. GG. GG, man. GG. Human height varies tremendously, from an average of under 5 feet in some pygmy populations. What? I've never even heard of that. 80% of the variation in human height is determined by genes. I will not make a single denim joke in this video. Hypospasdias. Am I a hypospaz? Typical odds. Common birth defect in males in which the opening of the... Okay. Let's close this one. Iris patterns. Like fingerprints, iris patterns are highly complex and uniquely identify individuals. I did not know that at all. So if someone got a contact lens made exactly like that, then they could, I don't know, commit crimes, but they'd have to put their eyes on all it. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Typical appearance of crypts. That's very goth. Don't know why I have headphones on. There's no sound from this website. Measures of obesity. Typical BMI. That's so specific. Waist circumference is 0.88 centimeters smaller than typical. Photic sneeze reflex. Now that should be a band name. How do you pronounce it?
Photic.
Yep, photic.
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 Photic. I got an American accent.
Photic.
The photic sneeze reflex refers to the tendency to sneeze when moving from relative darkness into bright light. Oh. For many people, this is great. The enthusiasm in this part. For many people, there are just 2 or 3 sneezes, but one researcher documented up to 43. He's getting to sneeze like 40 and he can't believe his luck. No one really knows what causes these uninduced sneezes. No matter what the cause, the photic sneeze reflex, or achoo syndrome, is pretty common. Do I have the photic sneeze reflex? I've got typical odds of it. Okay, so if I turn off the light, make it really dark, and then I suddenly turn it on right in my face. From relative darkness. Okay, keep my eyes closed. Eyes closed. Okay, eyes open. Oh god. Oh, kinda. No. I can feel something though. That was close. Not sneezing, but I'm very disoriented. Back to the list. Response to diet. Oh, is this what makes you fat or not? I'm less likely to lose weight with a specific diet. That's super interesting. So you can see which diets would most likely help you if you do a DNA test. That's so cool. A high-fat diet is associated with higher BMI. So if people have the RS662799 marker as AG or GG, they are less likely to get fat from a high-fat diet. This is so cool that we can find out this kind of stuff. This is literally looking at my code. Response to exercise. Now this will be interesting because I've been exercising for like 200 days straight now. Tendency towards higher BMI. Exercise is associated with a greater reduction in BMI. So exercise makes me lose more weight than the average person, according to this gene. Thank you, Kilplanian. Oh, Jesus Christ, how the hell do you pronounce it?
Kilpalainen.
Oh, that's in the English one there.
Kilpalainen.
Kilpalainen. And they actually had the English person pronouncing it wrong.
Kilpalainen.
Kilpalainen. Kilpalainen.
Kilpalainen.
So I know how to pronounce it incorrectly correctly. Thanks, Google. Sensitivity to the sound of chewing. That's a genetic thing. I thought just everyone found that annoying. Who thought to check how genetic that is? 4 freaking research groups? Where's the money in this? So I have typical odds of being sensitive to the sound of chewing. I freaking hate it. That's one of those things that really grinds at me. Sweet taste preference. Well, I freaking love sweet stuff. Slightly higher odds of preferring sweet foods. Hell yeah. How many GGs out there struggling with the misphonia? Tooth development. Well, this is not going to be good, is it? I really fit the British stereotype when it comes to teeth. Oh, right. One fewer permanent tooth at 10 to 12 years of age on average. Typical number of permanent teeth. One more permanent tooth. Typical number of permanent teeth. So, averaging out, I've got half an extra tooth. Childhood and adolescent growth. No data. Well, I can tell you that I did not grow for a long time as a child. I was so scared I was going to be short for the whole of my life. I was so short my friends would like lean on me and make jokes about using me as an armrest, and I haven't spoken to them since. Breast morphology. How are my breasts? The physical traits of the breast, such as size and shape. The breast undergoes a variety of changes throughout the lifetime of a woman. Oh, is this only for women? How disappointing. However, if I was a woman, I would have a typical breast size. Double C's, apparently. Yep, typical. I would not be a Dead or Alive character. Menarche. It's like someone who can't pronounce monarchy. Menarche is the first memory. Increased episodic memory. I have terrible memory. What the hell? Slightly increased episodic memory. See, that doesn't make any sense. I have a terrible memory. Memory. Increased episodic memory. I have terrible memory. Odor detection. Reduced sensitivity to sweaty odor. Typical pain sensitivity. No way, I'm a wuss. So your pain sensitivity is genetic. I'm pretty typical. Man, there must be some people who are serious wusses. And that's just from the traits page. What else we got? Genetic risk factors. How am I gonna die? Alzheimer's. Great. Maybe that's how I'll go. Slow deterioration of everything that makes me me. Locked reports. Oh, do they lock these reports so it doesn't tell people? Reports for certain conditions will not display your result, regardless of whether you have it. Oh, so they don't want to scare people. So I don't actually have these necessarily. That's so interesting that they choose not to tell people what it is in case it upsets them. Unlock. Am I going to die? Not associated with a higher risk for developing Alzheimer's. Phew, man, heart pumping there. Oh, does that mean I've got like a higher risk for a heart attack? Oh, let's try that with the other ones. Am I going to get Parkinson's? Drum roll, please. Does not have any of the variants associated with Parkinson's disease. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry to disappoint you, haters. All right, drug response. Well, we already know the caffeine hasn't really affected me. Like, I'm not even shaking or anything. Hands totally still. PPI metabolism. Drugs that limited the production of stomach acid. God, that seems like quite an excessive picture to use for stomach acid. He's just kind of accepting it as well. He's like, yeah, I'm dead. Inherited conditions. Let's see what I can blame my parents for. Absent. Are they all absent? Absent. Oh, I can't blame them for anything. Genetic weight calculator. Okay, 168 pounds. I don't know, these imperial freaking things. Calculate genetic weight. Your S&Ps account for at least 7 pounds. That's so cool. Oh, I love living in the future. Ooh, here we go. Ancestry composition. Let's take a look at how English I am. Holy crap, I'm pretty English. 99.9% European, with like 0.1% East Asian. At what percentage are you allowed to make racist jokes? Ashkenazi. What's an Ashkenazi? Ashkenazi Jews? That's an ironic name. Am I Jewish? So I'm 70% British and Irish, 14% French and German, and 13% broadly Northwestern European, one of those countries. I don't know, is it Sweden? Is it Finland? Where are you from, Rumi? Broadly Northwestern Europe? Eastern European? 1%. I am 1%. Little bit Finnish? Nah, I'm not that Viking. Yeah, I'm super British. Chromosome view. Alright, Frank. That's so cool. Neanderthal ancestry. Huh. I am slightly more Neanderthal than the average person. Heavy eyebrow ridge. Kinda. Let's get that profile shot. Jealous, Leafy? So, yeah, the eyebrow ridge there. Long, low, bigger skull. Yeah, I've got a pretty big skull. Prominent nose. Yep. Oh, that was freaking cool. Bye.